And to break down this big ticket World Championship clash and Vaishali's performance at the candidates, we are joined by veteran Grandmaster Pravin Thipsay, one of the India's most respected voices in the game. Let's get his expert analysis on our Vaishali's chances against the reigning champion Juvin. A very warm welcome, Pravinji. Talking about Vaishali, how do you assess the Vaishali's performance in the candidates and her readiness for a World Championship match?
Well, I think this performance was just it's outstanding. One must not forget that he started as the lowest seed in a tournament of eight players, eight best players in the world. She was the lowest seed in the tournament. And initially, she did struggle. I could say that first four rounds, she could make only draws. And at some stage, it seemed that she was not going to be finishing in top two or three itself. It looked that way. Over the time, I think she recovered during the tournament itself, and her wins after wins really made the tournament look completely different. And she had a fortunate win to start with against Tan Zhongwei, former world champion, where she was struggling for a long time, and she defended very well. And when the game was close to a draw at that time, Tan Zhongwei blundered. And that really gave a boost. And then subsequent play by Vishali was so well planned. She could really plan for avoiding draws, and she kept on setting traps, which is her specialty. That even in equal position, she doesn't allow it to be simplified. She keeps on creating and that could be seen when Alexandra Goryachkina went down to her in a simple trap. But trap is simple when you see it, but when you don't see it, it's very difficult. So I think a remarkable personality, I must say, that to start with lowest seed and to be trailing behind for at one stage she was the last in the tournament, and she ended up first in the tournament. So I think one of the greatest achievements, I must say, not only as a player but as a human being who is trailing. Can you imagine someone trailing behind in a say marathon and then trailing at the last spot and then coming up? So a great performance, I must say. Well, regard to World Championship, I think I do believe that Vaishali has a better chance than Ju Wenjun, as it's been believed. Ju Wenjun has been there for quite some time. She's a great player, no doubt, to have won World Championship and have defended three titles after three times the titles. But it doesn't mean that every time she's going to be that. First of all, I must say that Vaishali is much more motivated because she didn't actually expect herself to be at that, I'm sure, during the
Right.
tournament. Secondly, it was also important that Vaishali is the only player at the top who is who has a capacity of improving her class and not necessarily her form. As you can see, Juvenjan and Guriaj Kina and everybody is saddled at a specific rating. But when Vaishali wants, she just gains 30, 40 points and stabilizes a new height. So in 2022, after the brilliant performance in the Olympiad, she became a grandmaster in the open section. That's a men's
Right.
grandmaster. She crossed 2,500. She settled down at 2,470 rating. And now she is playing at the level of 2,520, 2,530, which is probably as good as Ju Wenjun. And considering that Vaishali is going to play many tournaments, she has a brother who is very strong, and a mental a couple of the parents who are completely supporting. I think that the match is going to be very favorable for Indian than the belief that she is going to be
Definitely, the
underdog.
match is going to be favorable for Vaishali, as you mentioned, for trailing to winning the tournament like candidate is a big achievement. But talking about the next important thing, given Yu Wenjun's dominance and experience, where does Vaishali need to improve truly to challenge her?
I think Vaishali has got all the great ingredients, all the ingredients required to be a great player. First of all, she's a great fighter. So most important thing in any sport is uncertainty, and you should have the courage to accept the uncertainty. Okay, I take this decision myself. I go wrong, I lose. She has been doing that, and that sort of courage she has. She plays in open tournaments where she could play average player, whereas Juvenjan has restricted herself to elite class, and she's Vaishali is much more imaginative than Ju Wenjun, I must say. Ju Wenjun is more solid, and she's strategically a little better, much better perhaps than Vaishali. And Vaishali is much better in imbalanced positions. So I think that a lot of time and Vaishali should concentrate on improving her strategic base. And if she is able to do that, then she will have even better results than what she had in this Kansas tournament, because there's a spot strategical understanding which she needs to improve. The other points and the other fields, other points, is really one of the best players in the world as it is.
Rightly mentioned, right now she is looking one of the best player in the world. Thanks Praveen ji for joining us and giving a valuable analysis of this important achievement of Vaishali. Thanks a lot.